Welcome to another episode of The Silly Kitchen. Today I'm gonna show you how to make a really delicious and cheesy turkey skillet. So if you want to try this at home, here's what you're gonna need. First, cheese. It's actually the last ingredient that we're gonna use, but cheese is always top of mind for me. So you're gonna want to grate some cheddar, mozzarella, some marble cheese, whatever your cheese heart desires, you go ahead, that'll all work. I'm using old cheddar and marble mixed together. You're also gonna want some black beans. I just bought a can of black beans, rinse them off, and away we go. You're also gonna want some corn. In my kitchen, I actually really love that I have a local farmer that grows amazing corn here in Waterloo region. I'm gonna link them in the information here on YouTube, but I take their corn and I cut it off the cob and then I freeze it and I can have it all year round. So right now it's still thawing and that's all good. If you don't have a local market where your corn is, go pick up a can of corn, that'll work too. You need some stewed tomatoes, finely chopped, as well as some seasoning. So salt and pepper, of course. And then I've got a carnita type mix that I'm gonna be using that I really like, but the theme of this skillet is kind of that Mexican type flavor. So if you have some fajita mix, some taco mix that you like, that works too. And then of course you need your ground turkey, and I have a pound of that here ready to go. And again, super awesome local farmer, 5 chicks and a farmer. Again, I will link them below if you don't know who they are. They pasture raised chickens, turkeys, they've got cows and pigs as well. So they've got offer you all the different types of meats and locally here raised. And I'm so excited that I get to use their product here in my kitchen. So I guess we should get started, right? You're gonna need a frying pan. Now, not every frying pan is created equal, so there's 2 steps to this process. Make sure it's a frying pan or a skillet that can go in the oven as well on the stove top. So let's head over and we're gonna start cooking. All right, so first things first, we need to cook up our ground turkey. So I've got my heat on about medium and I've lined my pan with a little bit of olive oil. Ground turkey is very lean. There's not a lot of fat in it to kind of give you all that juicy, non-sticky stuff. So I'm gonna use a little bit of olive oil. So let's put our meat in there and we're gonna heat it up and get it all browned. All right, so just use your spatula and break up the meat a bit, and you're just gonna wanna hang out here for a little while until it's mostly cooked. You can actually add your salt and pepper now so it kind of soaks into the meat. You don't need too much of either because we're gonna add that other spice, your Mexican taco fajita spice that you have as well. So just be patient and slowly cook out your ground turkey. So let it sizzle, but keep moving it around and mixing it so that you have little chunks of ground turkey as opposed to letting it all stick together. It's probably going to take you about 6 to 7 minutes to get it all cooked out. All right, sizzle, sizzle, sizzle. It's pretty much all cooked out. I'm just gonna kind of go over it with my little spatula a little bit so that there's not any big chunks left, which there really isn't. It kind of cooked out really nice. So the next thing I want to put in is my Herrle's corn. Because it's still a bit frozen, I'm gonna put that in first and just make sure that it all kind of cooks out in my skillet first. If you're not using frozen corn, if you're using corn that is already cooked out, then you can throw in all the next ingredients together, but I'm just gonna give it a quick minute here. See how the temperature came down? Stopped sizzling a little bit because I threw in all that cold corn. All right, so let that come back up to temperature. Does not take long at all. Now you're gonna go ahead and throw in your black beans as well as your stewed tomatoes and all the juices that go with it. Get all those last little bits in there. All right, and mix it up a little bit. I already love how colorful this is. It's so, I like pretty food. I don't know. I eat with my eyes. I mean, and my mouth, of course, but I love when food looks so colorful. So now that we've got a bit of the juices and everything mixed together, this is where you're gonna add your final seasoning and get lots of that in there. I've got a pound of turkey in here, plus all those additional vegetables and beans. So you wanna be pretty, I mean, you wanna add as much as you want, but I want lots of flavor and I want a bit of that heat to come out as well. So don't be afraid to add a good amount of seasoning into this. Now you do have the opportunity here while it's cooking, if you like a little bit more heat, you can add some chili peppers, jalapeno peppers, you can add chili flakes, whatever your spice and heat level is, you can certainly add that into this now. But all you want to do is mix it up and let kind of the flavors all come together and let some of that moisture cook out before we do the final steps. You've had some time with it, making sure that all of this is getting cooked out. Now here's your opportunity to give it a taste and make sure it's to your liking. So that way, if there's something missing, if you feel like you need a little bit more salt, here's your opportunity to give it a try and add before the final step. All right, so let's see. Let's get a little bit of everything. Ooh, it's dripping hot on me. I'd say that's pretty perfect. It's got a little bit of sweetness from the corn and the tomatoes, but it's got a little bit of heat and a little bit of zing and that beautiful flavor. So I'm ready to turn this off, and we're gonna go ahead and add the final ingredient. Remember, cheese. We have cheese to add to this. Okay, so you want to get all of these edges out and around because we want to bring it a little bit into the center and not miss anything. And then just kind of flatten it out a little bit and make it look really pretty. I really love the way this looks. Okay, so we've got cheese and we've got quite a bit of it. So what you want to do is just make sure that every part of your pan and your food here is covered with cheese. Now, I don't want to miss any parts, so I'm not going to eat any cheese yet. Even though I always like to nibble a little bit while I'm cooking, I don't want to ruin the dish and I want to make sure there's lots of cheese here. Now it will start kind of melting already on your frying pan. That's all right. Because it's already cooked and ready to go, all we're doing for the final step is putting it in the oven. Let me just put that down. We're just gonna go ahead and put it in the oven, preheat it to 325, 350 or so. Remember I said not all frying pans are created equal? Well, that's because you can't put all of them in the oven. If you have a skillet, cast iron, those all work great. This one is oven safe, so we're gonna pop it in the oven, and all you're doing is letting all of it now come together and let the cheese make a nice big crust at the top. Okay, so 5 minutes have passed. I couldn't wait for the 6th minute. The cheese is melted, the skillet is hot, the handle is a little warm, so make sure you use your oven mitt. And of course, the final thing that's always left to do at the end of the show is make sure that everything tastes good. So I need to try this. Now, I like to eat it just with a little bit of tortilla chips, and you can serve it with sour cream, salsa, guacamole if you choose. Okay, I want to stop talking because I need to eat this. I really can taste the difference in the turkey as well. So if you have access to a local farmer, if you live in Waterloo region, check out 5 Chicks on a Farmer. Their turkey is amazing. I've also had their other products and they're just as equally amazing. I hope you enjoyed today's episode, and I'll see you again soon.